that little segment of the turn seems to have been a very deciding factor of why Caleb Dressel was able to out-touch Andrew Celiscar this past weekend in Mission Viejo. Hello Swimmer Strength family. In this week's video, we're talking about the turns. More specifically, 10 exercises that you can work on today that you can break up as you wish, but just get a little bit better at these and work on them, and you should see some significant improvements in your turns. This is arguably one of the most complicated segments in swimming. Why? We're talking about the speed approaching the wall, the technique going around the wall, whether that is an open turn or a closed turn. Then we need some power pushing off of the walls. Then obviously the streamline, the underwaters, following the power, but also finishing with the beautiful breakout to go into the swimming with maximum amount of speed with reduced drag. So if any of those segments are rushed or we are missing anything, that's gonna greatly affect the actual performance of the race. Now, again, welcome to this channel. If you are new, my name is Dennis Hekmati, your performance coach and sports scientist, encouraging you guys, subscribe to this channel, spread the word so we can help improve your and everyone else's turns a lot more. Number one, you just heard me say it. It's a really complicated segment to go through. It's not just the turn to go in and out of the wall. It is a lot deeper than that. Number two, it is plyometric. No matter if we're doing an open or closed turn, the body is absorbing force when we're entering the wall because the body is coming in with some speed. At one point where we're doing a butterfly or breaststroke turn, the hands have to actually decelerate the body and the legs coming in with some speed and go from a 0, then after that, bam, to 100% is gonna be plyometric in nature. And number three, we are actually pushing off the walls with our toes. The heels are never in contact when we're doing an effective turn, so keep that in mind. I just want to disclose here, if you're looking for the absolute best exercise to improve your turns, I'm going to encourage you to put on your cap and goggles, jump in the water, and practice your turns, and go from slow motion turns into faster and faster turns because that is the most specific we can get. Now, on land, we can certainly work on some physical characteristics that are going to help enhance this motion and segment. But before we do that, I want to talk about Caleb Dressel and also Michael Phelps. Caleb Dressel just coming off of the TYR Mission Viejo Pro Series, going in and winning the 200 freestyle. I'm taking the 200 freestyle here because Andrew Celiscar has a commanding lead going into the 150, and it doesn't look like much, but Caleb Dressel looks like he's picking up a little bit of power here and certainly pushing down the waters and coming up with a little bit more speed, and not soon after the turn and the breakout seems to be in the lead and just keeps that lead throughout the last 50. He doesn't necessarily go and swim faster than Andrew Celiscar, but that little segment of the turn seems to have been a very deciding factor of why Caleb Dressel was able to out-touch Andrew Celiscar this past weekend in Mission Viejo. But also in 2007, the world record, when Michael Phelps broke the 200 freestyle world record, that was probably the first time, and that was 14 years ago now, where we showed, or he showed, how dominant we could be underwater. Now, I don't want to go in here and say that everybody should be doing underwaters like this, but take this segment seriously in swimming, especially if you're a short course swimmer or even if you're a 200 or a 400 swimmer long course, because then you do have more walls. Because if we're swimming a 50 freestyle long course, there is not a wall, right? But if we do have that one wall in the 100 freestyle, it's really going to matter. So now, let's look at the 10 exercises I suggest to you that you can work on. But remember, if you are not able to do all of them, regress, take your time, and then do what you can to get a little bit better. Here they are.
Number one, in and out. We are going to sit on our butt, on our tailbone, find a good balance. Gonna lean back down so the lower back flattens out on the ground, and quickly come back and grab onto our knees. So similarly how we are essentially tucking in and getting ready for the wall, whether we're doing a open turn or a closed turn, this is the way we need to quickly get our body into the turn position. Number 2, overhead streamline rolls. Now we are going to be in a streamline hollow position on our back, making sure the lower back is connected to the ground, and we're going to flip our body, moving our leg first, getting over to our belly, reaching out with our hands, reaching back with our legs, and then flipping back, and then doing the reverse on the other side. Now, if this is challenging to keep the lower back on the ground, especially when we are coming back to the neutral position, please feel free to bend the knees, whatever you would like to do. And obviously when we're coming down on the belly, let's make sure that we are reaching and staying as symmetric as possible. Now, if this is way too uncomfortable or challenging for you, we can simply start on the ground with our hands on the ground and legs on the ground, and then flipping one leg over and let the hips and the arms kind of follow through and roll into the position, learning our kinetic chain to work as a unit simply, and move back to the neutral position, and then do that on the reverse side. And this will be more appropriate for any beginner level swimmers. Number 3, now we are combining the in and out and the streamline overhead roll. So we'll go back out to the hollow position, roll over to our belly before we roll back to our back, and then quickly tucking our knees into the neutral position where we started off from the beginning, and then roll over to the other side. And each time we essentially come back to the neutral position, we do an in and out, or quickly come back in, hold it in essentially a quick hip flexion and get our abs tucked in. And you can tell here that I'm always keeping it as much of a neutral spine as possible, a long neck if you will, throughout the entire movement. Number 4, jump roping. Simply jump roping in any position and getting as comfortable and coordinated as you can here is going to work wonders. We are getting really quick contact on the ground with our feet, similar to when we're on the wall, maybe slightly quicker when we're doing jump rope. But essentially what we want here is rhythm. We're getting quick extensions from the ankles, the knees, and also the hips, and teaching our body here how to be, athletic in a very foundational base, and teaching the body to use the plyometric stretch shortening cycling properties when we're doing this as well. Number 5, heels elevated or heels floating dumbbell squats. And we're going to do 2 different variations. The first one, we're going to hold isometric positions where we are bringing the heels up and holding that position for 5 seconds before coming down to a quarter of a squat position, holding it for 5 seconds, and then down to almost a full squat position, holding it for another 5 seconds, always in neutral spine, keeping the dumbbells away from the body. Big toes clamming down, little toes clamming down, and you should never be in pain here, always being able to stand up. The second variation is to simply go eccentric, nice and slow, controlled pace all the way down until you're comfortable without any pain, with the knees tracking slightly outwards versus inwards. And again, with the weight that you're comfortable with, if this is hard enough, go just body weight to strengthen the ankles and your feet to get much stronger. Number 6, the depth jump. Now, there are multiple ways we can do this. We're going to pick this one stepping down from a box, landing with both feet together, and quickly extending the legs and jumping. Now, what we're doing here is getting a lot more force down on the ground and our limbs as we're coming down from a box, similar to as we are actually approaching the wall in swimming. So what we want here is quick transition from down to up, where we are getting quick extension from the ankles, knees, and hips. And again, many variations we can do this. We're keeping it simple here in this video, showing you guys the regular depth jump. Number 7, jump shrug. Now we are developing a lot of force and power here with dumbbells in each hand. We can also do it with barbell, but what we're doing essentially here is a standing from a still position, body weight pressure in the middle of the feet, and a quick dip into a counter movement to jump into a jump, and a quick little shrug with the shoulders up towards the ears. But the most important thing here though is that we're keeping the body weight pressure in the middle of our feet, and that we are extending the legs first before moving the arms. And with these jump strokes, we can generate really high amounts of force and power. The heavier we go, the more force, and also the lighter we go sometimes here, the more power we end up generating here. Great total body power movement. Number 8, tuck jump. A simple movement, very athletic, but highly powerful, that many swimmers have issues with. We simply want to bring our knees up in the air, quickly touch them on the ground with as little contact as possible and stay in this position in the same spot, ideally. Now, for many swimmers, doing a tuck jump is really stressful on the joints, and it's not very easy, and it gets really loud if we are floating. If this is light on our feet, that's the way we want to really do that. However, we may not be that athletic yet, so what we can do then is do a regular tuck jump and stick the landing. So we're truly just focusing on bringing the knees up and focusing on absorbing the force coming down. This becomes a lot safer for younger athletes and beginners to start before they're actually progressing into heavier plyometric movements. But again, the higher the swimmers jump here, the higher the knees go, the more force they'll end up coming down with and end up getting stronger. So a great adjustment and regression for you guys here. Number 9, rotational box jump. Simply, we are standing parallel to the box and we are countering the jump and then jumping up on the box. We are simply rotating in the air, similarly to how we are essentially pushing off of the walls, if you will. We are actually pushing off of the walls, except for backstroke, right? When we are actually rotating and getting into a certain position. So here we're getting both jumps from the left to the right and also from the right to the left. And we're just working on fluid motions, looking at the hips landing higher than the knees and always staying as much in the middle of our feet as possible when we are absorbing the body weight. And lastly, the overhead squat, a total body strength movement and also mobility, stability, all of the above. And there's no one way of doing this. You can do this with the barbell, with medicine ball, or with just bands. It's very versatile, but what we're doing here though is really teaching the body how to be stable, strong in a very foundational movement in general. So if swimmers have issues here controlling the barbell, we can regress and we can always start with medicine balls. And medicine balls get really challenging, and it's easy to sometimes cheat the medicine balls and not reach up and extend all the way, so we get a little bit more bend on the elbows versus keeping it straight up. And the smaller the medicine ball, typically also the more mobility, more strength is required from the lower trapezius, and always as much range of motion here as possible while keeping the pressure in the middle of the feet. And here you get 3 different variations with both a barbell, Dynamax, medicine ball, and also a smaller medicine ball.
That's it, guys. 10 effective exercises with good versatility, good variety for you guys to work on. If you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend to share with a friend. Like, share, subscribe to our channel to see a lot more fun videos. And I want to hear from you. What else would you like to see? Where are you struggling in swimming? Where can I help you train a little bit smarter outside of the pool to make you a little bit faster? I want to hear from you. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, comment here, and we'll get some more content coming for you guys. Take care.